Right, good morning everyone. Welcome to the Papes AstroTurf. This is Maritzburg College taking on King Edward VII School from Johannesburg. It's the Maritzburg College Reunion Day, a very special day here in Pietermaritzburg for Maritzburg College. Team's just warming up at the moment. Thank you for joining us, and a special shout out to all the old collegians who are watching this match, indeed from all over South Africa and the world. The highlight of each year, certainly at Maritzburg College, is the gathering of the college tribe on its reunion day, which typically sees thousands of past scholars descend on their alma mater, invariably resplendent in the hooped rugby jersey known throughout KwaZulu-Natal, or in the stripy blazer that has become the signature apparel of the more dashing old boy. Whether alongside the hallowed rugby field of Goldstones or the hockey Astro known as some as Fortress Papes, the day makes for rousing scenes as Maritzburg College boys, old and new, link together and cheer on the school's many rugby and hockey teams. It's not uncommon to see some teenage boys shed tears of joy on a day like this, sometimes frustration, but the day remains the most treasured for the entire Maritzburg College community. At the grand reunion dinner held on Friday night, festive cheer reigned as some 500 sons of KZN's oldest boys' school gather together each year and reminisce about their days of schools gone. These passionate scenes set the tone for the day that follows, and on this great day, for the school reunion day, the school's formidable tally of nearly 30 rugby and 20 hockey teams are spurred on by the loyal support of old collegians and the boys alike. Welcome to the Maritzburg College Reunion Day. Right, once again, a very good welcome to the Papes AstroTurf here at Maritzburg College, and I'm joined by Manny Sigali. Manny, welcome.
Morning, Brandon. What a fantastic occasion we've got here. It's the day of the collegians here, as we see many a college old boys gathering around the Papes AstroTurf today to watch the spectacle. Maritzburg College versus King Edward VII. Brandon, what is your take on this game?
Well, I tell you, this has turned out in the last couple of years, Manny, to be a very tense rivalry between these two schools. And I think we're going to see nothing different here today. This encounter held earlier in the season where Maritzburg travelled up to KES. And I think Maritzburg College came out the victors on the day. Just looking at this Maritzburg College team sheet, Certainly a team that has played very well together so far this season. Sihle Nkongo, the SA under-18 goalkeeper in goals there. Captain Russell Steinbank, he's been a stalwart for them this season. Pumi Mapamulo in number 5, Jared Campbell, Andre Bradford, all SA Schools players, as well as number 10, Angelo Volstrom. So those are the guys that they'll be looking to be their go-to players.
Well, fantastic to see as we're going to have a look at the KES side now. This should be a really evenly contested game here as we see Carl Coker in goals, captained by Michael van der Berg. Really fantastic player to watch. Unfortunately, Josh Finley, I don't think he'll be playing this game. He unfortunately got himself injured during the national series against Australia, but what a fantastic player. They'll be missing him a lot, and a mixture of real youth and experience in the side. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic game as the two teams battle out to see who is the best red on the day.
So I think also as we cast an eye over to the dugouts, an interesting battle today is going to be Dylan Coombs versus Colin Fielding. Dylan Coombs, of course, the Maritzburg College Director of Hockey, recently arrived in Pietermaritzburg, hails from Joburg originally, plied his trade there, and him and Colin will know each other well, Manny.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be their only battle today. You know, they'll be battling it out not only on this AstroTurf, but just across the road at AB Jackson where the senior IPT is. So, you know, no bad blood between the two, but it's going to really be a good contest. Two really good coaches, both of them hailing from Johannesburg, Colin Fielding from Pretoria, as we get underway this inter-schools derby between King Edward's VII and Maritzburg College.
Right, so College looking to build early around the back. That's Godleman, number 4. Plays through Mapamulo. Turnover from KES there. And as you can see on your screen, if you are watching wherever you are, especially the old collegians, send your message of well wishes here on our School Sport Live platform. So at School Sports Live, you can comment on the live video feed on YouTube, or you can tweet on Twitter as well, at School Sport Live. Send your message and maybe we'll broadcast during the course of the game.
Both teams, as we are looking a little bit scrappy up front, you know, just a little bit of nerves as KSC themselves managed to attack into Maritzburg's right quarter. Maritzburg get a tidy little turnover there. But both teams looking a little bit nervous, maybe a bit of travel nerves here from King Edwards, maybe some derby nerves here from College. But it's going to be interesting to see how this game opens up as the boys get into it.
Yeah, Manny, I think that's the great thing about school sport with big traditional boys' schools like these. And of course, as you say, a very big derby day for Maritzburg College. There'll be a little pressure on those college boys out there today. They'll be wanting to get the results in front of their home crowd and, of course, on reunion day. So it's going to be an interesting factor to see how that plays out.
Oh, definitely. And KES, you know, not wearing their traditional red and white today, changing into, you know, a different outfit just to allow Maritzburg to wear their red on Derby Day. So it's going to be a really good, evenly contested battle as we see Maritzburg getting their first de-entry and a good save there from Carl Coker. Unfortunately, just conceding the PC there for danger. Umpire Lance Lowe saying a little bit dangerous in the circle. So first penalty corner of the day.
Yeah, so I think Adrian Greaves will see a great little steal. He partners with Angelo Volstrom, who eventually made the attempt on goal to win that PC. Yeah,
as you see there, the ball just hitting the body of the Maritzburg player off the KES keeper a little bit high. So just being blown up for danger there by umpire Lance. So it's going to be interesting to see what the first PC of the day has got to hold here from Maritzburg.
So College have their 2 flickers. Greg Will, Russell Steinbank on hand. This is Jared Campbell with the push out. It's going to be Will, it is. And it's in. A goal for Maritzburg College. A bit of a wonky one coming off the stick of Greg Will.
Yeah, a really interesting goal there. Didn't look unbelievably convincing. Probably a little bit of a stuff up at the top, but well recovered from Maritzburg College. The King Edwards boys just really not coming to the party there on defence as we see Greg Will, number 15, getting the last touch.
Yeah, he'll be very happy with that one. I think, as you say, Manny, you know, we speak about second phase in penalty corner defence, and I think KES would have just been lacking there.
Yeah, well, there you see the little mistrap, a little push in there, and just rolling under the left foot there of Carl Coker. Really unfortunate there, but KES will be looking to bounce straight back into this game. Good start here from Maritzburg College. A little bit of argy-bargy on the top of the 25 there, blown up by Melissa Taylor.
So Maritzburg College will be a little bit boosted here today, Manny. For the last 2 games this term so far, they've played without their very dynamic midfield combo in Mapamulo and Campbell, who've been away with the SA Youth Fives team in Algiers at the Youth African Games. So certainly Coach Dylan Coombs will be happy to have his midfield back. But also a little bit of settling again for a team that hasn't played with 2 key players for a while.
No, definitely. And like I say, unfortunately, Finley won't be playing this game from King Edward's. He's a really versatile midfielder. He adds a lot to the side. Obviously just applying his trade for the South African youth side and just copping an injury down here in Maritzburg. So they'll be missing him. But they've got plenty of depth in the squad. Some really good players. Mikey van der Berg, he's one to look out for. He's their skipper at number 14. He's on the ball at the moment. He's a real live wire on the ball. And he really does have the ability to change a game.
So here goes College forward with Steinbank, not quite being able to come away with the ball.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start here from both teams. Both teams just trying to find their bearings a little bit here. Unfortunately, not quite managing. Maritzburg's goal due to a little bit of poor defense there from KES. So it will be interesting to see how long it takes these 2 teams to warm up. So we see another turnover, quite a few turnovers in this game already from both sides here. In a game like this, it's all about which team makes the least mistakes. The team that can be most clinical will be the team that takes it home at the end of the day. Lots of hockey still to play, only 5 minutes into the game. So King Edward still have a lot of time to gain one back. Maritzburg have a lot of time to really put pressure on them, and take this game away from them, as we see a turnover there in the corner for Maritzburg College.
That's Volstrom running the baseline. You're 100% right, Manny. I mean, I'm sure the message coming off the bench there from Colin Fielding to his troops is, guys, just put that last goal behind you. There's still so much hockey to play here and a lot of opportunity to gain traction.
Yeah, you've almost, at this stage of the game, when you've just started, you've got to take it as 0-0, as we see Maritzburg attacking the King Edward circle here. Just trying to get a de-entry. Another de-entry. What a goal from that man, Volstrom. Fantastic bit of hockey there, Brandon.
Yeah, they say a good striker is his best in the 9-yard area, and you've got to be waiting and ready, and that's exactly what Angelo Volstrom did. Great cross by Pumi Mapamulo, teaming up with his SA Schools teammate. College take a commanding lead now. KES are going to struggle to come back from this if they really don't get things together in the next 10.
Well, as we have a look at the replay here, lovely little T-point entry here on the reverse, little cross on the reverse stick, and a fantastic finish in the 9-yard area. Like you say, any good striker has to be absolutely pivotal there. And a little one-touch as he turns it over now, probably looking to attack the KES 23. He's looking for a bit of support, not quite getting it.
Yeah, so certainly this 2-goal cushion now, be interesting to see how it plays out. The tails are definitely going to be wagging of the Maritzburg College boys. But of course, we always talk of the dreaded 2-0 trap. So again, still lots of hockey to play here.
Definitely, and KES just at the moment, unfortunately, haven't rocked up to the party. They need to wake up a little bit from their bus trip. But Maritzburg really putting the wheels on, attacking the D really nicely, as we see Crispin McKenzie on defense there. A little bit slippery on the turf here today. The boys are going to have to be a little bit careful.
Good turnover by Volstrom again. He's really working hard up front for College today.
Yeah, well, like I say, turnovers, but unfortunately, KES turning it over in really bad areas. You can't be playing around with the ball in areas like that. As the number 6, Crispin McKenzie, he'll know better than that. But KES, they definitely still have to rock up here. Need to put 1 or 2 passes together as we see them attacking the 23, but unfortunately turned over again in a good position. As we see Teal on the ball, he's looking for support. Unfortunately, doesn't get it. He's going to have to do all the work by himself. As we see the skipper getting the ball. Lovely little de-entry there on the reverse stick, and unfortunately doesn't get a clean enough connection on that.
So here come College forward now. This is Stelo and Nobo. Looks like he's got the run into the circle. Looks to find that baseline.
Well, Well, I think the difference so far, is Maritzburg, when they get into those areas over there, they're looking a lot more threatening than the King Edward's boys. The King Edward's boys are getting into the 23, getting into good positions, but unfortunately just turning it over, whereas the Maritzburg boys really using, as we see, they're really using their D entries really well. He didn't even make it into the D. He was on the 5-yard, found his man in the circle, and they capitalized. But it's a long trip here for King Edwards. They'll be a little bit bus lagged of sorts. But like I said earlier on, 10 minutes into the game, the KES boys will be really looking to attack the Maritzburg guys now. They'll be playing catch up here, and they'll need one goal. One goal is all it takes to make it a one-goal game, and all of a sudden they're straight back in it. As we see a message there on YouTube, come on the Red Sticks. There we go. A little bit of spirit being shown there by old boys from all around the country and indeed all around the world.
So also there's watching from Johannesburg. Not quite sure who would be supporting. Could be a college old boy in Joburg or a KES parents who's still back home. But as you say, Manny, that's what a lot of players always need to realize, and especially message to young players. You go 2-0 down, you don't have to score 2 to get back into a game. All it takes is one game to really change the momentum. KES here looking dangerous in the circle, get the shot off, and they've won the PC. So here come KES.
Well, there we go. One PC apiece at the moment. This is exactly what King Edwards needed, and now all they have to do is convert this PC. Hockey's as such a game that penalty corners are so vitally important here as we see the PC here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Finding your man in the D and just getting a shot off there. Finally, KES using it, starting to get into this game, which is really good to see.
All right, what do you think KES are going to come out with here? You know these boys relatively well, Manny.
Well, I think first one, they're probably going to have a look at the keeper, Ngoboye. They're going to try to test him. You should be looking to test him nice and low, as they do, looking for a little slider. But unfortunately, the deflection just not finding the back of the net. Nice little PC to start off with. Just a good opportunity to see what the Maritzburg guys are running. Nice little slider, looking for that man. I think it's Campbell in the D, not on the P spot, but unfortunately, the deflection just not finding the back of the net.
Yeah, King Edward did well there with Luke Campbell to find just the right amount of space. A very well taken PC, as you say.
Well, like you were saying, they don't need to score 2 goals. They need to score 1, and all of a sudden, it's a 1-goal game. So that's what KES have to be looking at the moment. They just need to make sure they don't concede in the next 10, 20 minutes, and they get one back, and all of a sudden, the second half, they can go toe-to-toe again. Oh, an unfortunate turnover there from King Edwards as we see now Maritzburg on the attack. Foot being called there by umpire Lanslow. And Maritzburg looking to attack the 23. They make another 23 entry, another circle entry. What can they do from it? Well defended there by King Edwards as they try getting out the back here. Unsuccessful outlet as Maritzburg turn it over nicely on the halfway line. What can they do now as they look to get forward?
It's a good interplay there from the college midfield in the outside half, but failing to find any option forward. KES breeze with a bit of space here. That's Andre Bradford who is coming forward there for Maritzburg College.
A smart bit of defending there from Crispin McKenzie, just making sure only one goes through either the ball or the man. Fantastic ball there, unfortunately not finding the striker up top there.
Good interplay here from college. There's Volstrom again. He's proving to be a bit tricky today.
Well, an interesting little battle there at the back of the field. We see Volstrom up against McKenzie. McKenzie looking up to the task. Volstrom with quick hands, but McKenzie defending really well again. It's a good little battle there, the SA Schools player versus the youngster Crispin McKenzie. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out today.
McKenzie an under-16 boy, Manny? Grade 11?
Yeah, McKenzie's he's an under-17 at the moment, played in the Southern Gauteng under-18B. Really good talent, solid at the back. Mr. Consistency, as we call him, as we see Go Red Sticks watching from Cape Town there. Good to see everyone supporting.
Even Manny's fans are coming out today. Let's go, Manny.
But like I was saying, Crispin McKenzie, he is a good little player. 17 years of age. He's relatively young in the side, but he'll be looking to be that. He'll be looking to be that rock at the back there, just keeping the King Edward's defence in check.
So a lot of support coming through on our social media for King Edwards and the Red Sticks, obviously, as they are affectionately known. That's certainly not the college boys. But we'd love to hear from some of the Maritzburg College Old Collegians. Remember, at School Sport Live, or comment live on that YouTube feed as well.
As we see Wallstrom versus McKenzie again, it looks like a bit of a man-marking battle happening there at the moment. McKenzie's been allocated to Wallstrom, which is probably a good idea. Yeah, the best defender on the best attacker kind of thing. Wallstrom is looking really, really slippery at the moment. I must say, he's got good hands, he's got speed, and he gets into good areas. You as a defending side really have to manage a player like that.
So KES content to sort of sit off on a three-quarter depth on the press at the moment, and I mean that's worked for them now as their turnover. So they're giving College a little bit of space, which I always think is never a bad thing. Let's often force the defenders, maybe force a few mistakes from them, a few loose passes, open the game up a bit.
Interesting tactic as we see there, just leaving a little bit, allowing the Maritzburg College boys to come all the way up to the press and hopefully looking for a little bit of space in behind them on the turnover. So, although 2-0 down, they're not trying to fetch this game too hard. They're not looking to full press and eliminate their strikers in the press. Looking to be nice and patient. Like we said, they only need to get one goal and all of a sudden they can go toe-to-toe again. As we see that turnover that they've been looking for, can KES make something of it as they get not quite a circle entry there? Good pressure applied there by Reichardt as he looks to win the ball back. He'll look to stay in the battle. And we see College on the attack here, and the supporters are starting to get into full voice here. I see the cheerleaders sort of fathoming up a few songs here. We'll probably hear a bit of Maritzburg support to our right in a little bit here. Another turnover. Unfortunately, King Edward just not managing to string up passes. I know Colin Fielding, he enjoys his give and goes. He enjoys a lot of passes from the King Edwards boys, and that's the style of hockey that he'll try play. Unfortunately, they can't quite get it right, but when it does come right, it's a fantastic brand to watch.
Oh, good turnover there from Ian Cranshaw for KES. Just not quite finding that extra number. They looked like they were going to convert over there on the outside half. Yeah, College must just be careful not to slip into too much complacency here with this 2-0 lead. Whilst they've got the cushion to pass the ball around, move it around, create a bit of space. Again, invite KES to attack the game. Just got to make sure, like we've seen in the last 2-3 minutes, Manny, not to just throw that loose ball into the midfield, allowing King Edward to turn over. That's what King Edward will be looking for.
No, definitely, and they'll be looking to string a few passes from the back, but another strategy we've seen them using here is just getting that turnover in the press and looking to go nice and hard. As we see another circle entry here, unfortunately, a low foot in the circle, just not managing to get anything away as Luke Campbell in the D. Nice little pressured outlet there from Maritzburg College, getting out of the corner nicely. They'll be looking to change the lanes onto the left-hand side of the AstroTurf. Patience is the name of the game here for the Reds. They'll be looking now on the right-hand side. The KES press really working nicely. Maritzburg will look to maneuver them and try to get some balls into the middle of the park. But a good receive up top there from Maritzburg. Can they find the 2v1? Well defended from Luke Campbell, as he looks to get onto attack now, but unfortunately just turning it over on the side of the field. Well, a good bit of patience being shown there from Maritzburg College. They're probably going to look to do it again, shifting the ball from right to left and from left to right before looking for that ball in the middle of the park. Lovely little hockey here, but, you know, like you were saying, they can't get too complacent now. Just too many turnovers as we see KES attacking the circle, but unfortunately getting it off the back of the stick.
Yeah, good turnover there by Robertson for King Edward in the middle of the field. He played the 1-2, managed to get the ball back. That was his shot in, but as you say, just rolling off the round. Here come College forward now. This is Norbo and Volstrom looking to pair up. Norbo driving hard in that baseline. He's got the advantage, got the circle entry, but Volstrom doesn't quite convert, and umpire Lance Lowe picking up the infringement there.
Well, what's interesting to see is the intensity that both these teams are looking to take their outlets, you know, not giving the other team an opportunity to set up in the press, which is always what we want to see. We want to see more hockey and less sort of waddling around on the AstroTurf, and this is what we've seen. We've seen some pretty end-to-end stuff, but both teams really patient, as we see Volstrom just dropping into the middle of the park. You know, you want to get some of your better players on the ball as much as possible, is exactly what Volstrom's trying to do here. As we see a nice patient build-up here. Can we see another circle entry from College?
So King Edward dealing nicely with that circle entry off the stick of Mapamulo, though Campbell's won it back in the College midfield. Carries well, plays it out to Adrian Greaves, bursting through the field. Got a really good change of pace, he does. Still in possession.
Well, I really enjoyed that passage of play. We saw, wow, that's even better there. But we saw Campbell working really hard to dispossess the King Edward's boys, and a fantastic burst of pace there from Greaves to get another circle entry. Really, the Maritzburg College boys are looking to work really hard. Yeah, they know that this game is not quite won yet, and a lot of energy being shown, which is really good to see.
Yeah, good defensive work there by College number 2, Grant Pio. Nice little deft touch, getting his team out of danger. I must say, Manny, I really am impressed with just the maturity from both teams here on the field. You mentioned something similar a few minutes ago, but you know, particularly to KES, you go down 2-0 very quickly. And they're playing with a bit of maturity here. They're not panicking. They're just hunting. They're starting to put the phases together. It's a really, really 50-50 game of hockey. You wouldn't say there's a 2-0 scoreline at the moment.
Exactly. You've got to almost treat it as a 1-0 at the back of your head. You know that you're down. But, you know, it's about as easy as that. The team that scores the most goals wins the game. And, you know, they can't change their game plan all of a sudden just because they've gone 1 or 2 goals down, you know, or else it wouldn't have been their game plan in the first place. You know, so they need to be able to back themselves. As we see a turnover in the middle of the park there from Kent. He'll look to pass it up the field to Reichardt. Reichardt will be looking for another circle entry. They need to get numbers into the circle there, as Reichardt tries to work it into the D. Fortunately not getting too much support as he gets it out to Selepe. Selepe will look to drive towards the D. And a little foot outside the circle given there from umpire Melissa Taylor. And just adjudicated to be a little bit dangerous there from umpire Taylor. But, yeah, like we were saying, you know, both teams will be looking, you know, both teams will back themselves to be able to score 2 goals. So KES cannot change their game plan, or else they wouldn't have gone into the game with that game plan in the first place if they didn't back themselves to score any goals. Well, let's keep those comments rolling in. Let's go, school. Good luck. Go the Red Sticks. Make us proud. A lot of King Edward support, I must say. But that's probably because a lot of the collegians, a lot of the college old boys are down here watching the game live. You know, it's fantastic support. A fantastic occasion here for Maritzburg College. Brandon, about how many old boys and supporters do you guys think you get on an occasion like this?
So, I mean, certainly many at the ground and coming to college to enjoy the day. I think the numbers during the course of the day could probably get just over the 5,000 mark. So it really is a special place to be, especially come kick off for the first 15 later this afternoon.
Oh, well, fantastic. I cannot wait to see that as college go forward, but unfortunately unsuccessfully. So I cannot wait to watch the first team rugby game. That should be an absolute atmosphere as we see some of the old boys walking right past us with their blazers. Fantastic to see the support on a fantastic occasion like this. As we see college managing the turnover, what I'm really enjoying from college at the moment is seeing how they change their turnovers into attack. As we see another circle entry here from Maritzburg College. Can they win either PC, get a little deflection? Unfortunately choosing to go out, all the way out to their back four to college, from circle entry all the way back to outlet.
So many, you also calling the first 15 game this afternoon, if I'm right?
Yes, I am. That should be a really interesting occasion. You know, two sides who've had indifferent but really good seasons. You know, you never really expect a bad season from Maritzburg College, and you never expect a bad season from King Edward's the 7th. So that should be a really good game. And as you said, you know, a lot of the old boys will be making their way down for that game in particular. So it should be a really good atmosphere, a really good crowd, and I think a fantastic game.
So that was Will, the man who scored the first goal for college, winning a free hit. Holloway distributes out to Pio as college look to build now around the back. That certainly, I think we've discussed it one or two times, will be the game plan here from college. Just keep the ball. Here they are in space in the circle. Kleiner doesn't get away, but he's managed to get the ball back. This is Mapamulo free. The shot's in. Mapamulo scores for Maritzburg College. 3-0. Again, Manny, I think KES will just be a little bit disappointed with that defending.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be interesting to see that replay as we see the celebration. I think they've practiced that celebration as much as they've practiced some of their penalty corners. That was really well choreographed. But, you know, and, you know, I don't want to knock KES down too much, you know, but I think as we see the replay here, you know, the defending just not tight enough. You know, you cannot have two men missing the tackle there on what seems to be a very lethal striker. You know, getting it away from the top of the D, not really the easiest angle in the world. You got to be a little bit tight, and each man has to be defending. You got to be man v man marking in that situation. So, you know, just a little point I'm sure Colin Fielding will express. As you see there, Crispin McKenzie with fantastic, you know, defending really well there as he wins the hit there for backing in. But, you know, that's how you got to be defending. You got to be, you know, you got to be man on your player. You cannot give this front three any opportunity, because we've seen every time they get an opportunity, you know, they make do of it. So, you know, some words will be had at half time, and hopefully KES can bounce back. You know, 3 goals in hockey really isn't much, and Maritzburg still at this moment can't afford to be complacent.
Yeah, so Pumulelo Mapamulo getting the goal there. He'll be happy with that one. As we said just now, he's just returned from Algeria, and he's missed the last 2 games, so he's really happy to get back onto the field with his college teammates. And I think, Manny, the one thing that comes up in this game as well is that it's the last game for both teams, and especially for a lot of the matrics on the field. You know, apart from the derby, apart from the college reunion, there will be those feelings and perhaps a bit of those emotions and anxieties coming into the field as well, and it makes for such great sport.
100%, you know, Brandon, I mean, you've been involved in hockey for a really long time. How do you think the effect of a 7-hour bus trip yesterday for the King Edward's boys, such factors as playing in front of a big crowd, which seems to be a mainly Maritzburg College crowd, how do you think factors like that affect the schoolboys? You know, these guys aren't professional athletes at the end of the day. They're humans. They're still teenagers. Do you think that is a big effect on the players at the moment?
Yeah, I do. You know, and we share, I mean, obviously being from Maritzburg College, you know, we travelled up to Pretoria last week, and, you know, there's no doubt that there are a certain number of boys who just generally don't travel too well. You know, they're sleeping in a bed that's not theirs, a little bit uncomfortable, or, you know, just not in your normal routine. So, and then as you say, especially on a derby weekend, you know, and then for King Edward to have to arrive to what is now the as you say, a very, very large home crowd. But I think this is where, and I think in the South African context, without being too philosophical, this is what makes South African sport great. It's a wonderful opportunity for these boys to come, to dig deep. And again, one might look at the scoreboard and think, well, King Edward, they're off the park at the moment. They're not at all, you know. And I think that's the true spirit of exchanges like these, of just getting young 17, 18-year-old sportsmen to dig deep and grit and grind. And I think from a hockey point of view, you know, these types of matches only grow the game.
100% as we see the ball getting up into the circle for college. It's that man Wallstrom. He's been so lethal. Can he get a shot away? And he absolutely does. You cannot give this youngster any space. Just showing us exactly why he was selected for the SA school side, isn't he?
Yes, so goal number 4 for Maritzburg College goes in. Angelo Wallstrom, his second of today. He'll be really happy with his performance. And I suppose, Manny, we're going to have to see now just how resolute King Edward can be. I mean, you know, we were speaking about 1 or 2 goals just now, but just minutes ago we were talking about the resilience of this King Edward side so far. But now it's going to start taking a bit of a monumental effort.
Oh, definitely. A fantastic goal there from Angelo Wallstrom. We'll have a little look at it. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, tight marking. You know, you cannot have Crispin McKenzie there marking 2 men, but just look at the composure here, almost like he's taking an 8-second penalty. Fantastic turn, fantastic shot past a very good keeper. And, you know, Angelo Wallstrom really showing his class at the moment. He's created, he's deflected, and he's got in the circle and absolutely whacked one past the keeper. So, you know, a very good all-round striker, which is really what I like to see. Well, as we hear the buzzer for half-time, 4-0. Brandon, if you were the King Edwards, the 7th coach, what would be part of your team talk at the moment to get these boys back into this game and still rearing?
Yeah, so 2 things for me, Manny. I think we've spoken about marking a lot. I would, if I were Colin Fielding, I'd just be asking my back 4, especially my 2 centre-backs, just to be a little bit more tighter. I just think guilty of ball watching on 1 or 2 occasions there in the red zone, and that's the one thing that I'd certainly bring up. And then I just think if they can come in, even in the second half, despite being 4-0 down, and just keep the ball and keep the momentum, you know, get the passes going, spread the college defence a little bit, you know, make them work a bit harder. That certainly would be my focus. You know, a lot can happen in 30 minutes of schoolboy hockey. So again, we spoke about the 1 goal that's needed when they were 2-0 down. It's 1 goal is going to bring the momentum. 2 is going to get them straight back in this game. So we're going to go live to a pre-recorded interview taking place yesterday between the first 15 and first 11 captain for Maritzburg College. It's reunion weekend here at Maritzburg College, one of the most treasured weekends on the school calendar, which literally sees hundreds upon hundreds of old boys return to their alma mater for a weekend of reunion, festivity, and of course, schoolboy sport. I'm joined here this afternoon by Ntutuko Mkunu, the captain of the first 15, and Russell Steinbank, the captain of the first hockey 11. Mkunu, tomorrow is not just reunion day, but it's also the last game that your teams and as Matrix you'll play. How does it feel to be playing your last game on reunion day?
It certainly means a lot because all I've ever wanted to do as a second former is represent my school on Goldstones. And it's quite daunting to see that how time has flown by so fast.
And Russell, for you?
Obviously, reunion day is a very special day to most on the college calendar. So to be able to play the last game on Papes on reunion day, it's going to be very, very special. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a memory I'll cherish for the rest of my life, I'm sure.
And Mkunu, what has been some of the personal highlights for you and your team this season?
My personal highlight has been the performance this past weekend against PBHS, where we won out there. I think we showed a good team performance, And my team's highlight of the season was probably narrowly losing to Afis on Goldstones, which gave us a lot of inspiration leading on to tomorrow.
And Russell, what has it meant the last 5 years playing sport and hockey in particular for Maritzburg College?
To be a part of the college hockey culture is a real privilege and an honor. I mean, to start off in under 14 with you, sir, being my coach, and then now finishing off tomorrow it's just been a crazy ride and full of great adventures and good memories, and I'm sure it's going to be a good way to end off tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to it.
And Mkunu, they say Goldstones is where dreams are made for young aspiring rugby players. What has your 5 years meant to you?
It's meant a lot because as a second former, you build on. You don't just get a chance on Goldstones, but you build on, play on the 14 and the 15A, and all you ever wanted to do is just play on Goldstones. So it's meant a lot to me. It's just like hard work does pay off, and just being patient, and you will get your chance. And myself and Russell are getting our chance tomorrow to lead our school the last time in our matric year on the 2 respected fields.
And who've been some of the biggest people who've stood out for you during your journey here at college?
Some of the biggest people that my inspiration and support, I could say, is my parents. They've really meant a lot to me. The way they've always been here, not missing any games. This season they've travelled everywhere, up to Pretoria, Joburg, to watch every game. So that's something really special. And with my mom starting off as my first coach, I think to have them by the sideline cheering me on all the time, that's something that's really special to me.
And Mkunu, for you?
It's also been my parents who sacrificed a lot to make sure I am where I am today, and they'll be there tomorrow as well. So all this really comes together, and just to say thank you to them as well by performing well and all that, giving me my best.
You're both senior prefects in the school as well. What is your message to the juniors of the school as they look to continue you as sports leaders and just leaders at the school?
My personal word, I'd say, just work hard and just make sure that you never give up on the dream that you see, and make sure that you don't rely on anyone to make your dream possible, but only yourself.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, but also just to enjoy your time while you have it. I mean, 5 years has gone seriously quickly for us, and sometimes you don't realize how quickly it goes, and you need to take time and reflect on what's gone and look forward and enjoy what's coming. So I think that's the message I would give to the young sportsmen coming up, is just to enjoy your time at college.
Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy these live streams where we've been able to take a little bit of college to you wherever you are around the world. Welcome to our reunion and enjoy these fixtures with us. So we see a favourite half-time tradition here on screen, the college boys driving the big college taxi at the moment.
Well, you know, these are the kind of scenes you can get if you get down to Maritzburg College. The address is 51 College Road. The atmosphere is absolutely undescribable. A fantastic day out here. If you've just joined us, 4-0 is the score. It is not a mistake. Maritzburg College really putting the pressure on King Edwards VII. But King Edwards will be looking to get right back into this game and show Maritzburg exactly what they've come down here for. You know, this game is not lost. If Maritzburg can score 4 goals in one half, why can't King Edwards? So I think we've got a fantastic showing on here on the second half. King Edwards will look to go nice and hard, and College will look to defend this league for their lives here on College Reunion Day.
Yes, I think the key thing, Manny, if we just look at this from a good hockey perspective here, the team that I think is going to control the ball for the first sort of 10 to 12 minutes, I think is going to be the key, the team that comes out here. You know, it's either going to be KES who gain that momentum back like we spoke about, or I think if Maritzburg College can hold out here and just keep things as they are for the next 10 to 15, I think that momentum will just be too much.
As we see comments coming in all the way from New Zealand and England, you know, preparation for the big clash between the two PAL schools later today. This is also, you know, a fantastic competition. Cannot wait for the rugby. But like you said, you know, all King Edwards need to do at the moment, you know, they need to grab one back. From there, they can focus on the next one, grab 2 back. All of a sudden, they got a little bit of momentum going in their direction. So, you know, it's not lost at the moment, but they really do need to get in here in the first 5 to 10 minutes with 1 or 2 goals. You know, it's probably worth going full on against Maritzburg and really just taking your luck. Whether you lose 4-0 or 7-0, you know, you got to do something to try and get straight back into this game, don't you?
Yeah, 100%, Manny, and It did look like KES had already stepped that press line up a little bit, so definitely something Colin Fielding would have spoken to his boys about, just to come a little bit more at the college defence, just demand more of them as they try and outlet. And here KES come forward.
Well, the interesting thing that I just noted before the start of this half, you know, the team that makes the least mistakes will almost undoubtedly win this game. And, you know, I think that's where King Edwards have just tripped up a little bit, you know, the first touches, finding their passes, their give and go. Like I said, Colin Fielding likes to play a real give and go style of hockey, and unfortunately, they just haven't managed to string up enough passes to really be threatening going forward. Whereas we see Maritzburg now, you know, just dinking the ball around middle of the park as we see them going forward, looking for another circle entry. Fantastic save there from Carl Coker from point blank range, I must say.
Yeah, certainly a very good save, and he pulled something out of nothing there as Wallström again just went unmarked into that King Edward circle there, teaming up with Holloway on the bounce.
Yeah, I think those are the two key things here, marking and just that error rate, that error and turnover rate. You know, you got to make sure on defense you're marking nice and hard, putting a little bit of pressure on Wallström. As we see the replay, a lovely little ball there to Wallström. He's been so lethal. He creates the assist, but what a save, making himself big. Just Carl Coker getting up nice and quickly. As we see KES now on the attack, they'll be looking to win something in the circle there. Unfortunately, Selepe just not quite managing to force it onto a foot. Really well defended there from College. As we see the skipper, Van der Berg. Van der Berg just looking to release that ball, carrying down that right-hand channel. Will someone be able to support him, or will he get a nice circle entry?
So Vandenberg on the ball, he looks to Selepe.
Very static at the moment, so King Edwards is, as you see, Selepe just getting his head up. He'll be looking for a PC. Does Luke Campbell, fantastic when they, you know, they, like we said, the first 5 minutes they have to score from this PC, don't they?
Yeah, these are the moments that if KES do want to take that momentum, yeah, this PC is very, very, very important for them.
Well, we saw how nicely that slider worked in the first half. Unfortunately, just getting the one penalty corner. Will be interesting to see now that they've seen Maritzburg's PC defense, exactly what they'll be looking to do here.
So a full battery at the top of the circle here for KES. They've gone with the straight flick. Campbell's done well to run that down, just forcing a long corner. So well defended there by Maritzburg College.
Yeah, really, really well defended, I must say. That was fantastic defense, managing just to get his feet out the way and just getting a stick block in there. Really well run down. As we see King Edwards now on attack, they'll be looking for another circle entry and another PC. From that angle, you'll be looking to force a foot. Really well done there by Campbell, just to get his feet out the way there.
So this is Warren Teal forward with the ball for KES.
We see that man Wallström, you know, he doesn't only create goals, but he saves them, you know, really good in defense. As we see Rijkaard with the push and the skipper, Van der Berg with the flick. Really well run down there from Campbell, though.
Yeah, very tight lines by Campbell. Made his coach very happy with that defense. So tentative opening 7 minutes here in this second half. Again, we've just spoken about momentum, and it's KES who've got all the hard work to do in this game. I just think it's a little bit too easy at the moment for College just to keep moving that ball around. And as you say, KES needed that last penalty corner to just make a bit of a break. As we see Mapamulo looking to create something there.
Well, something really interesting that I read whilst dawdling around the borough yesterday, the school rankings. Maritzburg College, first 11 ranked, second King Edward's the 7th ranked, 17 on the national rankings. Brandon, how seriously do you guys take those rankings as a school?
Thanks for throwing me under the spot there, Manny. No, to be honest with you, you know, whilst it's nice for the marketing department and, you know, it's always something, whether we like it or not, it's at the back of the boys' minds. But, you know, I think for a lot of top schools, and, you know, I include the likes of Jeppe, who I think are currently sitting on the top of those rankings. You know, they're nice to be there, but certainly for our big schools, it's about process. It's about working through the right things week by week. And I think the minute you start worrying about where your team is ranked, it becomes a problem. So it's a bit of a tough one every week to manage those sort of expectations and, you know, to keep guiding the young athletes on what's important and you know, that things like rankings and that is not where you want to pitch and how good your season is. But certainly, you know, it's a good measure of where teams are at, and it always keeps the season a little bit interesting.
As we see Campbell managing to force a foot there on the top of the circle. Lovely little 1-2 interplay there. And the penalty corner being awarded by Melissa Taylor. Maritzburg College not taking this 4-0 lead lightly. Still going nice and hard at King Edward's. How do you think the King Edward's boys have managed to bounce back? As we see a replay here, we see a nice little link up there. Fantastic work. Melissa Taylor just blowing up for danger there. How do you think the KES boys have reacted to the 4-0 half-time score? Do you think they've bounced back relatively well, or do you think they're looking a little bit flat at the moment?
Yeah, so many. I mean, I think they came out. I think they were the better side in the first sort of 3-4 minutes. You know, and they're working hard. I just think it's, as we will just watch this corner. Well, there it is. Maritzburg College's number 5, Andre Bradford, gets a goal in his final game for his school. And Manny, I just think it's starting to stretch too far out of reach now.
Yeah, as we see Andre Bradford with a fantastic little deflection. We saw KES in the first half trying that infamous slider. You know, every team's banker. But as we just look at this, a little slider from the top at that post. Fantastic on the reverse stick deflection there. You know, Carl Coker unfortunately could do absolutely nothing about it. Well orchestrated short corner there from Maritzburg College, as KES look to turn this defense straight back into attack. Well, Brandon, like you were saying, 5-0 at this stage. You know, we spoke about getting 1 back. We spoke about getting 2 back. As we see Maritzburg on the attack again, they get into the circle. Another circle entry. Can they get a shot off? No, says Melissa Taylor. Well defended by King Edward's. But 5 goals at the moment, you know, you're never out of the game, but that lead slowly but surely just stretching and stretching. What I really have enjoyed is watching Maritzburg not take that lead lightly and still going nice and hard at King Edward's, because they obviously know what the threat is here. A very good school is King Edward's, and you can never take your foot off the gas against them.
Yeah, I think the key thing for the last 20 minutes of this game is just, you know, Maritzburg College are comfortably in the driving seat, and I think it's KES who's got to change the game. You know, Maritzburg College can just keep moving the ball around. The pressure's off them at the moment, and I think they're going to play with a little bit of freedom. And I just think it's how KES choose to just keep themselves composed. And as I was saying before that last goal went in, they've been very resolute. You know, we're certainly not seeing a side that's just crumbling. It's just small little errors, perhaps just a little bit more bit of a desire from some of the college boys out there on their final day is what's separating moments in the game that are turning into goals.
Yeah, well, this is interesting. You know, I think both sides playing in their final winter fixture. For a lot of them, probably their final hockey game. You know, unfortunately, as we see King Edward's on the attack there, a little foul there from the Maritzburg defender. You know, unfortunately, a lot of these boys choose not to play hockey anymore. So, for a lot of them, their final game, it's, you know, it will be quite an emotional game out there. A lot of the matrics will be thinking to themselves, you know, we need to get some good memories, a good game out of this, and, you know, a really unfortunate situation for the King Edward's matrics. But looking from a more positive side, the Maritzburg College matrics will be absolutely elated, finishing their season on such a high, won't they?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, you can't ask for a more fairy tale win against such a respected opposition. And you know, as you say, I'm sure some of the KES boys will be a little bit sad depending on how this one finishes. If it doesn't change much in the next 20, yeah, it will be a hard one for them to swallow. But, you know, Manny, such again is schoolboy sport, and I think what's really important for great schools like these two and many others joining those ranks around the country, it's just the ability of the coach to just put things in perspective. And we were talking just now about being about process and not the once-off result and the ranking at the end of the season. And I'm sure, you know, if one looks over at the King Edward's hockey custodians, Colin Fielding, Arthur DeMata, you know, men of great experience, and they'll definitely be able to put things into perspective.
Oh, fantastic shots off there. You know, Maritzburg College still coming really hard as King Edward's trying to seal that lead away. Like you were saying, Brendan, you can carry on, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, you know, they'll put the season into perspective, and I'm sure this King Edward the 7th School first team, they'll have lots of lessons, memories, and high points in the season.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just see what looks like Campbell on the top of the D. He's managed to go down. I'm not quite sure what happened. Or is it not Campbell?
That's Adrian Greaves, who's on the floor at the moment, the college number 14. Although he's back up on his feet. He's going to limp off.
Looks like he may have just rolled his ankle. But let's have a look at this fantastic passage of play. Lovely receive on the open. Great shot on the run. Unfortunately, not very well defended by KES. Follow-up shot, and Coker just showing why he's such a good goalkeeper. You know, that scoreline saying absolutely nothing about his goalkeeping ability, does it?
No, not at all. I mean, you know, I've had the opportunity to watch Carl Coker over the last couple of years, and he's a rising talent, and is certainly going to be a goalkeeper worth watching going into the future. So Greaves hobbles off into the side there to get some treatment, and Lance Lowe will be starting this game again shortly. Lance got a bit of a big game later today.
Well, you know, it's only the IPT men's final, but it's always good to see him putting the feet up. I think, you know, when you get to Lance's age, you know, you need a full 1 hour's warm-up. So I think this is the warm-up before the big game a little bit later, as we see Maritzburg College attacking the circle again. But yeah, men's IPT happening at the moment right here in the borough. KZN Coastals representing in the final, and Southern Gauteng A also representing. It's going to be a big game at AB Jackson, as we see Wallstrom unfortunately not managing to get the pass away, well defended from King Edwards. It's been a busy time for Maritzburg, hasn't it? Under 16 IPT, under 13 IPT, under 18 IPT, men's IPT, and the National Series. A fantastic show for the game here in Maritzburg.
Yeah, Manny, Maritzburg has certainly almost been the home of hockey for the last month here in South Africa. 6 fantastic tournaments, as you said, held in the July holidays in terms of schools, and just crowning it off with that international school series against Australia, where the girls, for the first time ever, the South African under 18 girls, beat Australia, winning that series comprehensively 3-0. The boys not so lucky, but a very tight series. 2 draws in the first 2 games, and Australia winning the last one 6-3 and taking that series. A number of these boys on this field were involved in those games. So, and now men's IPT, the best we've got to offer in terms of hockey in this country. It's been fantastic for Maritzburg.
And really well hosted. You know, I was lucky enough to be involved in 2 of those tournaments, and you know, it really has been good. Really nice little city is the nice little town is the borough, and always fantastic to come down here. Unfortunately, the weather hasn't been unbelievable. I thought it was always summer down in these parts, but a little bit chilly as we see KES going forward. Awarded the hit by umpire Lance Lowe. As you said, he's got a really big game later on, but don't worry, he doesn't do too much running, so he'll be fine later.
Well, of course, the season campaigner, men's player himself for South Africa, Lance Lowe. And yeah, you're right, Manny. Things have been very warm here, but I heard it was freezing in Joburg yesterday, so I think a bit of chill boarded the bus there with the King Edwards boys and brought it down to Maritzburg. Yeah.
As we see King Edwards trying to penetrate the circle once again here. Really well defended there by Maritzburg, just forcing a foot in those deep areas, but a really good show here by Maritzburg College. I really do think they've played well. They've shown why the rankings say that they are second in the country, and you know they're still doing well to make sure that this King Edwards outfit does not get a goal back.
Yeah, I suppose the purist in Coach Dylan Coombs will be wanting a clean sheet today just to round this game off. I don't know, I still sniff one at least in here for KES today.
Well, I really do hope they get one. I hope KES can get another 2 or 3 and just spice this game up a little bit, as we see a shot on the reverse stick, unfortunately not on target there from Campbell. What I really have enjoyed from those Maritzburg boys is when they do get into the circle, they look absolutely lethal. Look at the show of skill here, just keeping the ball on the defender's wrong side, getting a reverse stick shot off, unfortunately not on target, but the amount of skill that takes is just fantastic to see at this level especially.
So as we see Campbell on the ball now. College again. He's been really special for Maritzburg College today.
No, he has been really good. I haven't had the privilege to watch this Maritzburg side play too often. I saw them a little bit at Nomads, and a few players that have really stood out here. The likes of Greaves, definitely Wallstrom. He's been absolutely fantastic. Campbell. They some really good players on attack, and that 5-0 scoreline just shows how lethal they are when they make their way into the D going forward.
So crossing that halfway mark of the second half here, just 13 minutes to go in this super clash between King Edward's 7th and Maritzburg College here on the Papes AstroTurf. And big ups to School Sport Live for providing the platform to beam this around the country and around the world, especially for a lot of Maritzburg College old boys who wouldn't have been able to make their reunion here in Peter Maritzburg, getting to watch some of this live action.
Well, a fantastic platform is this, as we see Wallstrom turning a KES defender inside out. I think that was Cranshaw. Wallstrom making his way halfway down the field, unfortunately getting dispossessed before some lovely defending there from Crispin McKenzie. McKenzie turns defense into attack. We see Maritzburg, bodies on the line, still bodies on the line at this stage of the game. Another turnover, double turnover there. Maritzburg boys absolutely throwing themselves into tackles here. This is how much it still means to them. KES managing the turnover, looking to go forward and maybe steal one back, as we see Selepe. Selepe will try attack the DA, needs support, gets it from Rijkaard. Rijkaard tries the 1-2, but unfortunately just not successful.
Yeah, so some composed defending here from Maritzburg College. Just Cameron Holloway, the number 8 on the ball there. Maritzburg College right off. Really special players coming to his own this year. Had a quality RPT, not quite getting him his name on one of those national team sheets, but certainly a good player.
Well, I really do think College have been as good going forward as they have at the back. KES have thrown everything at them. KES have tried really hard to penetrate that back four, but unfortunately just not managing. As you said, led by Holloway there at the back. He's been really, really good here today. KES now on the half court looking to turn Maritzburg over and steal a goal back, but Maritzburg managing to get through that half court. A little bit of patience here, Wallstrom in the middle of the park manages to turn a defender. Can he get onto that lethal backhand?
Sure. I think Wallstrom unlucky not to get a blow out of that tackle there, unless Melissa Taylor played a bit of advantage. Maybe she felt he was just shielding a bit there.
Yeah, I definitely think I saw a quiet little stick block in there from Wallstrom, but he's been absolutely electric today, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I just think his class is really starting to show. I mean, he's been just a growing and a burgeoning talent over the last couple of weeks, and certainly this season's really paying off well for him.
A whole host of really good players here from Maritzburg College, just coming together, and it's really showing, their basics are good, their structures, they look really well oiled. Dylan Coombs obviously just showing his hockey knowledge here, and just some really good players as their interchanges are really good. As I say that, the commentator's curse gets the best of them, but they managed to win it back. But like you said, just the patience and the maturity as they go into a quiet little back five here. Not committing too many players forward, protecting the ball, supporting each other on attack, and getting the ball up to those lethal forwards.
More speed.
Well, the college boys starting to get into full voice here. You know, we're just hearing them on our right-hand side here. Is this going to be the order of the day for today? Lots of noise, lots of atmosphere, lots of support for the men in red.
Yeah, 100%, Manny. I think as the day starts to wind on further and further, closer to that 2:30 kickoff on Goldstones this afternoon, and there of course will be quite a lot of things lined up just before that kickoff for the first team game. So it'll be a good period to be a part of. I hear there's going to be some chaps jumping out of planes, trying to put their parachutes down in Goldstones. There's the traditional old boys war cry. They'll look to circle almost the whole of Goldstones and get the cheers going. And no doubt 1,300 Maritzburg College boys are going to be screaming their hearts out this afternoon.
Oh, well, fantastic to see. You know, you don't get that everywhere, as we see Maritzburg still going forward. Ngobo, unfortunately, not getting the blow that he wanted to there from Melissa Taylor. As we see defense being turned into attack here from KES. Can they fathom one more goal in the last 7 minutes? We see Rijkaard at the back trying to get out of trouble. Unfortunately, just not managing. As we see Mapula. Oh no, I'm gonna get that wrong. I'm gonna get that wrong every day of the week, so I'm gonna stay away from that one. But like I was saying, you know, KES unfortunately just not managing to string enough passes together. Maritzburg College, you know, just making them pay for their sins. But I think they've defended much better in the second half. Only the one goal in the second half, as we see a slippery bit of Astro. Not sure how he's managed to get that ball to his teammate. Fantastic bit of work. But I think they've defended a lot better in the second half, as we see Wallstrom so dangerous in the D. He's back up, and can he get the better of Coca? Unfortunately not. Only conceding the one goal in the second half.
Yeah, and I think that's what we talk about process, Manny. You know, that's where the right coach and the right players, you know, just teaching guys where to look for perspective in the game, and to come off so far again, 4-0 half-time, 1-0 second half. As we see Wallstrom there really working his magic, trying to find something in the KES circle. Did well, won the ball back, and again, we're seeing the half from Coca now that we know of him as a player in the King Edward goals.
Yeah, he's been special in the second half. You know, unfortunately that the goal that he did concede, unfortunately, just not his fault. But you know, he's starting to show his class here in the second half. And you know, when he is given the opportunity to make a save, and you know, unfortunately, they're not whizzing past his helmet. You know, he is really sharp in goals. So that scoreboard just not showing how good the man really is. As we see a different approach there from King Edwards, a big aerial ball, picked up nicely there from Maritzburg College. Unfortunately dispossessed again from the King Edwards boys. We see Ryan Kent.
Is that a brother of Manny?
I would be lying to you if I said I know, but I think, you know, the Kent roots are quite deep at King Edward, so there's every possibility there is a relation.
Of course, we are referring to Stephen Kent, who plied his trade in KES around about 2012, if I'm correct. Went on to play for South Africa.
As we see this excellent bit of skill, just look at Coca, how quickly he gets down and up. You know, fantastic little work there, but a beautiful bit of skill there from Campbell. You know, he really is a special player. You know, just has his give and goes, but you know, excellent bit of skill to beat a defender and penetrate the circle there. Brandon, would you be able to give us a bit of background on Campbell, because he does seem to be a really good player. You know, unfortunately, I haven't really heard of him before this, but he really is turning it on defense. His distribution is good, his circle penetrations are really good, and his work rate is really fantastic.
Yeah, Jared Campbell's been a really classy schoolboy player, you know, right from his 5 years in the system. Made the national schools under 16 squad, high performance in previous parts. Played SA under 18 last year, SA schools as an under 17 boy. and of course making the side again this year. You know, he's also a first-team cricketer here at Maritzburg College, so you know, just the close ball sports and just that good hand-eye just absolutely come naturally for the young man. And I'm sure he will be heading up to Pretoria University to Tuks next year. His older brother is there, and I'm sure Coach Guy Elliott, the head coach at Tuks, who's also a college old boy, I'm sure we'll be very happy to see Jared making his way up to Pretoria next year. But a really classy player, and I believe, Manny, without going too far, I think one who can go all the way in this country with the game.
Well, yeah, you know, fantastic institute that is Tuks. Guy Elliott worked against them several times. Well, it will be really good to see him there. You know, he really is turning it on as we see him on the ball. Little give and go there. Little give and go there with Greaves working so well together. Greaves, Wallstrom, and Campbell up at the top there, just giving the KES defenders a little bit of problem every time they get there.
Yeah, I think, as you say, Manny, that Maritzburg College trio up front, although Campbell's been playing a little bit more in the midfield, but just Greaves, Wallstrom, Campbell, just really got a bit of an ability to just spice things up a bit. I think sometimes the KES defenders haven't quite known what to expect from them. They're really nice and versatile players.
Oh, definitely, and they seem to really work well together. It will be interesting to know if they've come through the ranks together through the age groups, or if they're of different ages. But they seem to really link up really well up top there, finding each other in the corners, you know, playing little mini games around the King Edward's defenders, and you know, just their pass completion rate in those critical zones has been really good.
Yeah, quite right. And as you mentioned, all three of those guys have been coming through the age groups together, and I think, again, you culminate 5 years of playing together, there's just that understanding and really good working off the ball of each other that comes with that experience. So 2.5 minutes to go here on the Papes AstroTurf. Maritzburg College versus King Edward. And obviously this game, a foregone conclusion now. There's no ways KES can come back into it. And so we'll just see how things pan out in the last two. But still a chance for KES, and they'll be looking for something still.
No, they will. You know, they'll be looking for that that one goal. You know, the only way I can see this, there's the KES boys not looking, you know, not looking too excited with this performance. But unfortunately, nothing they could do. You know, a really classy Maritzburg College outfit came here to play, and unfortunately, you know, this away game is difficult on the boys. It's very difficult to travel on a bus the day before, you know, play a big derby in front of a big crowd, and unfortunately just not managing to come to the party today at King Edwards.
So the college boys rising to their feet. They know there's just a matter of minutes left in this game, and they're going to be looking to cheer their boys on and bring them home in what has been a pretty polished performance for Maritzburg College today, and a great start to the first of the main games here on the Maritzburg College Reunion Day.
No, definitely. You know, if you are a collegian of sorts, if you're a college old boy, you know, this is exactly how you want to start taking this momentum into the first team rugby game. You know, I'm sure Maritzburg would love nothing more on Old Boys Day but to beat KES in the double, one of the top schools in the country. As we see Crispin just asking the Maritzburg boy what he had for breakfast this morning. It's not coming to the right conclusion, obviously.
So that was Warren Teal looking forward for KES. He finds De Swart. KES coming forward here. Space in the circle. That's Campbell. Oh, tricky little ball. There it is. Good save by Nkongo. And a PC1. He has this chance. 10 seconds. This is going to be the last movement of the game. The last movement for many of these young players in their schoolboy hockey careers.
Well, you know, we got two spectrums here. We got one spectrum, the college boys will be you know, let's just have a little look at this replay. Unfortunately, not managing, keeping Ngobo doing really well to keep that out, and you know, good defense, shot on target, hitting the Maritzburg College body. Umpire Lancelot awarding the penalty corner. But you know, two spectrums here. The King Edward's boys, you can just see the look on their faces. You know, they won't be happy about this. The grade 11s can go back and, you know, have a look for next year where they went wrong. But unfortunately for the matrics, a really sad way to go out. And on the other end, you know, the college boys.
So the corner taken there, umpire Lancelot has stopped time. Potential opportunity for a re-award here. The college boys think that they've made the save, but a PC re-award it is. So KES will get a second bite here to get a consolation goal.
Well, as we have a little look here, you know, a flick from the top onto the stick, onto the body. Quite an interesting call there. Surprise, weirdly enough, I thought they would have blown that up for danger, but yeah, you know, KES could get another bite at the cherry here, just to grab one back in what was an unfortunate performance by them.
So here we go, KES, final play of the game. The injection, looking for the slider again, not getting it, ball still live. Campbell still in possession. And he had the penalty corner advantage. Lancelot was pointing there, but he chose to go for it. And that's it, Manny. 5-0 to Maritzburg College. A great result on the Maritzburg College Reunion Day. Super effort.
Well, like I said, two different ends of the spectrum here. One, absolute elation from the boys in red, and absolute disappointment from the boys in white. But you know what, a fantastic game of hockey this has been. We saw lots of goals. Unfortunately, all the goals coming from one side. But Maritzburg College today showing their class and showing why they are second in the country.
So as we wind things down here at the Papes Astra, the sound of the college boys backing behind their team after what's been a really good spectacle to watch. And as you say, two fantastic institutions. You know, King Edward VII, Maritzburg College, and a handful of other like schools are the mainstay of school sport in our country, and it doesn't get better than a derby like this, regardless of the score. It's been a fantastic spectacle here for schoolboy hockey and schoolboy sport.
Well, that's it from us. We will see you a little bit later at the rugby. It's been a fantastic day out here. The sun is out. I advise if you are anywhere in the vicinity to get yourself down to Maritzburg College. Final score, Maritzburg 5, King Edward's 0. My name is Manny Sekhali. It's been an absolute fantastic day, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Manny. It's been a great privilege sharing the Combox with you, and good luck for calling the rugby this afternoon. Just a reminder, that is 2:30. The live stream will no doubt be starting about 10 minutes before that, right here on School Sport Live. So join us for the rugby as we kick off this afternoon. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you later.